Hey, Joe. Thanks so much for meeting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
We're really, really happy to have you to be able to talk a little bit about Art All Night. And if you could give us a brief history of Art All Night in Trenton, so that somebody who's uninitiated might have a better understanding of what it is and what it's about.
Sure, I'd love to. This is our 7th year. We started in 2007. The event itself is created by Artworks, which is Trenton's downtown visual art center. As I mentioned, this is year 7. We've grown exponentially every single year. Our first year, we were looking at 1,700 attendees, roughly 300 pieces of artwork on display. In 2008, we moved into this building, which is the former rolling machine shop, which made the original wire cable for the original suspension bridges around the country. This is a 50,000 square foot space that goes unused every year until we take it over and make it into a 24-hour pop-up art gallery. It includes live music, world food court, interactive events, art demonstrations, master classes, you name it, we will essentially have it here at Art All Night. In the 6 years that we've been here, our attendance has grown, as I mentioned, by leaps and bounds. And in 2012, I'm very proud to say, and very excited to say, even still a year later, that we welcomed over 18,000 people to the city of Trenton for this event. And it's really, for me, this is a passion of mine. I've been doing it since year 1. I've been with it every step of the way. It's kind of my baby, in a lot of respects. But this event is unlike any other that I've ever attended. I know there are a lot of big arts festivals around the country, and they all draw incredible amounts of people and really open eyes to a lot of different forms of artwork that people might not otherwise see. But this is something that I don't really know of any other kind of event like this on, I wouldn't necessarily say the East Coast, but certainly the tri-state area. And we're looking to welcome over 20,000 people this year and more than 1,000 pieces of artwork which would be on display. And mind you, those the 1,000 pieces of artwork that we're trying to achieve all come from individual artists, which means that there would have been 1,000 artists to submit their artwork here. Last year we had almost 950 pieces of art, which again means that 950 artists from around the tri-state area actually came to Trenton to display their work in our 24-hour pop-up art gallery.
And when you say artists, but there's a community aspect to this. Almost anybody can submit.
Oh, absolutely. This is not a juried show. There's no judgment here on any sorts of artwork. We take everything from what we happily refer to as refrigerator art to professional art. And that means that if you have a young child who is a budding artist or has an interest in anything like that, we're more than happy to put that on display for them. And kind of the cool aspect about this is that you could essentially have your child's, and again, we just kind of happily refer to it as refrigerator art, next to a professionally matted framed piece from an accomplished artist. We don't segment them from professional to amateur to budding artists, whatever the case might be. Artists are artists in our eyes, and if you're creating, then we want to have it here, and we want to have them all together.
So regarding your special events for this year's Art All Night, last year, for example, there was an iron pour.
Correct.
Yeah. And what's going on this year in that regard?
Well, I'm really excited to say that we just booked this past week a glass blower who will have a mobile glass blowing studio on site and will be blowing glass for, I believe, the entire 24 hours. And if not the entire 24, it'll be pretty darn close. Above and beyond that, we will have the dueling muralist project, which goes on outside, which is one of my favorites. Last year we had Jim Lemire and John Connor, also known as Lank, who are both very local muralists, compete against each other, and there were 2 8x12 canvases in our courtyard outside where they both built a mural over the course of the 24 hours. This year we're kind of throwing a wrench into the mix, and we're adding 2 artists who are now being forced to pair up with other artists to create 2 full-scale murals. So 4 artists who have very different techniques and styles will be forced to work together to create and kind of collaborate on 2 large murals, and they'll actually be working around the theme of Edgar Allan Poe, which we will then turn around and use those canvases to display at the Monsters Ball, which is Artworks' annual Halloween bash. Above and beyond that, Grounds for Sculpture will be here doing an arts demonstration, which we're very excited about. We do have over 40, I believe it's 47 bands that will be playing on 3 stages this year. We did add an outdoor stage for some spoken word and for some acoustic acts, and that goes along with our indoor stage and our outdoor stage. So there'll be a lot of stuff going on, this during Art All Night for sure. It's something for everybody.
The film festival.
Yes.
That aspect of it is relatively new. That's last year?
Yeah, last year we added the film festival, and we actually had, I believe, 23 and a half hours of film to show. So it was pretty close to a full 24 hours of film. We fell a little short this year. We found that, it's obviously a process to make a film. I'm sure you guys know to some degree how that goes. So someone who submitted a film last year wouldn't necessarily have their films ready for this year. So we have around 12 or 13 hours of film to show this year, but still an exciting addition to the event, and kind of opening it up and welcoming other sorts of art forms that I think a lot of people take for granted the fact that films are films and they don't necessarily consider them a form of art, but we do. We'll have everything from documentaries on the city of Trenton to full-length feature films that local filmmakers have made. And one of the things that I'm more excited about for the film festival is Clifford Zink, who is the local Roebling historian, and he will actually be showing a documentary that was made about this building. And he actually had interviewed gentlemen who had worked in this building when it was still a functional plant. So I'm really excited to see that. This building is kind of part of Art All Night. This is part of the experience. It's these buildings, the Roebling buildings here in Trenton, are really infamous for the history that's attached to them. And it's unfortunate that a lot of those buildings really are not usable space at this point. They've been sitting dormant for a long, long time. We're really lucky to be able to be in this space. Just the history alone in this building, and the what it meant to the city at one point. And I revel in the fact that it's important to the city once again, because it's important to us, and we feel as if this event is important to the city and the region.
So you had mentioned in your answer, we were talking about this idea of the organization not being judgmental about the work that comes in. And I think that's one of the most amazing, interesting aspects of the festival, is that anything can be brought in, anything is considered art, and that's pretty much my philosophy too, is that motion can be art, or any focused upon idea can be art.
Yeah, we've had digital installations here. We've had 1,500-pound sculptures that were brought in on forklifts. We've had modular units that were brought in here and constructed here on the floor to be displayed.
There's the body painting.
Yeah, and the body painting, sure. There's live arts. Leon Rainbow, who is a huge supporter of ours and is always involved in the event every year, always loves to do the body painting on the girls, and they walk around, and again, it's living art. Everything that you could possibly imagine, any sort of art form, you will generally find to some degree when you come to Art All Night.
Fantastic. I often wonder if you, in your wildest imagination, imagined the success that the festival has found.
No, it's funny. I was just talking about this a couple of weeks ago with some friends, and the event was created by the Board of Artworks, and it was one gentleman in particular who volunteered at the Pittsburgh version of Art All Night in Lawrenceville, Pennsylvania, and they are the original Art All Night. The idea kind of blossomed from that, and he brought that positivity and that idea here to Trenton, and he came to me and said, "I want you to design a logo. I'm a graphic designer and an art director by trade." And I said, "Can you help me with the poster? Can you help me with the logo? Help me with the t-shirts, the website, whatever the case was?" And I said, "Sure, I'm happy to help you, but I don't think this is going to work. It doesn't seem like it's something that the city of Trenton and the outlying areas would really be able to get behind." I think at the time everyone just seemed very jaded with the art scene in New Jersey, in Trenton in particular, and there were just nothing but negative headlines at the time. And I did not think it was going to work, but I went to the events. I helped do everything that I could. I created the logo, all of the marketing materials, went to the events, and was blown away by not only the amount of people, and again, that was 1,700 compared to 18,000, so even 1,700 we felt as if was a huge success for year one. I knew that I had to be involved again. Come year two, I started rethinking that, because it's a lot of work, And the gentleman who began it in 2007 said, I just want to show you something. And he brought me over to this building, and we walked inside, and he stood me right here where I'm sitting right now and said, you look inside this building and you tell me that you don't want to do Art All Night. And I looked at him and I said, I'm in. And I haven't looked back since. And it's been probably one of the most rewarding and positive experiences of my life. And I don't really hesitate to say that I know a lot of other people who feel the same way. We've got a volunteer base of over 300 people that help us throughout the event every year, which in and of itself is an amazing feat to be able to wrangle that many people who want to volunteer their time for a 3-hour shift. It's really pretty incredible. The community aspect of this event, the arts aspect of this event, the musical aspect, whatever the case might be, is it's all just purely positive, and it's we really feel as if we are helping in the urban renewal process within the city of Trenton, and we are so happy that we can also be a part of the positive headlines that come out of this city. One of the things that we like to do is to show people and to help them understand that Trenton isn't just a negative headline, that there are good things going on here. And I'm really happy to say that in the 7 years of our existence, we've never once had any sort of issue with anything. You'll come here and you'll see people from all kinds of backgrounds and cultures and races and creeds and religions. And we're all here to do one thing, and that's enjoy ourselves and celebrate the arts. And this has grown beyond my wildest expectations. But I really, every single year, I get more and more excited to see where it's going to go the next year and how much bigger it's going to get. And, when all's said and done, seeing the smiles on the thousands of people's faces walking through here at 10, 11 o'clock at night when there are 10,000 people packed into our space is really something to behold. It's a lot of pride goes behind this event with everyone who's involved.
Well, thank you so much. And we are definitely fans of the work that you're doing, especially in this project and in all the projects you're involved in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
So do I very much. Thank you very much.